My excitement is increasing as I get ready to discuss the reasons why I'm positive that XRP investors are on the verge of having their trust rewarded in today's episode. I am certain that they will be rewarded for their faith. I'm looking forward to that very much. When one considers the year 2021, it is quite evident that XRP did not see the same surge in value as a great number of other cryptocurrencies. The majority of this may be attributed to the fact that the cryptocurrency has been confronted with a great deal of legal problems. For the time being, however, I am beginning to view these legal challenges as more of a deliberate strategy, maybe with the objective of preventing regular investors such as us from getting involved in the market. The essential purpose that XRP was meant to fill is one of the most intriguing elements of the cryptocurrency, particularly when taking into consideration the digital-oriented future that we are heading towards. XRP was established to fulfill this fundamental role. Please accept my greetings and welcome to the Moneyside family. We are appreciative that you have decided to go to the location of your choice in order to obtain the most recent information concerning XRP. Before we get into the complexities of today's fantastic news, I would want to make a simple plea as to whether or not you could do me that favor. Before we go into those specifics, I would want to remark that we would appreciate it if you would express your support for us if you find the stuff that we provide to be pleasant. It is recommended that you give the like button a huge smash, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell in order to become a member of our wonderfully supportive community. Perform each and every one of these actions if you are interested in joining our community and becoming a member. In addition, I have some very encouraging news to share with you for your consideration. At the same time as we are coming closer and closer to reaching the milestone of 60,000 subscribers, we are getting ready to perform a magnificent giveaway of XRP. There are just 3 steps that need to be taken in order to finish the participation process, which is quite simple. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out on this opportunity, then you should make sure that you remain tuned for further information at the appropriate time. If you want to make sure that your comments are taken into account for the contest, it is very necessary that you do not forget to include the hashtag Moneyside in your comments. We are already aware with the concept that we're about to enter a new age in which digitalization plays a key role and virtually everything is undergoing a transition to a tokenized format. This is something that we are about to enter. By doing a more in-depth research of the core papers of XRP, such as its white paper, one may be able to ascertain the primary aim of the coin. To encourage the simplification of transactions, not just those involving currencies, but also those involving a variety of assets, in a world where tokenization is becoming more widespread at an increasing rate, the goal is to promote the streamlining of transactions. When one examines the idea that XRP may be developed to facilitate the transfer of tokens that are based on assets in addition to monetary value, it is exciting to think about the possibility that this could be done. There is no other factor that is relevant when it comes to efficacy. When tokens are utilized, there is a substantial reduction in the level of complexity that is associated with processes. Stellar, which might be regarded XRP's less glamorous twin, is in a position to become the backbone not just for the movement of cash, but also for the transfer of digital assets. This may be accomplished by a partnership between XRP and some other cryptocurrency. This is especially true with regard to the acquisition and transfer of digital assets. In order to throw additional light on the reasons why XRP has the power to revolutionize the landscape of remittances, let's take a look at the influence that it has on liquidity from a financial standpoint. In the existing banking system, in order for a transaction to take place, it is necessary to have twice as much money as the amount that is being transferred. This is a need that must be met. In the event that you wish to transfer $200 million from a bank in Japan to a bank in the United States, for example, you will be required to in order for the transaction to take effect. The function that XRP has in this context is transformational, and it has the capacity to bring about a fundamental shift in the functioning of global remittances by greatly releasing liquidity levels. This is because XRP has the ability to significantly release liquidity levels. I will investigate the revolutionary potential of XRP in relation to the sphere of liquidity and the foreign exchange market, which is also known to as the FX market. This will allow me to achieve the objectives that have been set for this section. Suppose, for instance, that a hypothetical situation arises in which a currency such as XRP makes it feasible for transactions to take place in a very short period of time. Because of this technology, it is feasible that a considerable amount of liquidity may be released, which would result in a market that is significantly more efficient. This would be a positive development. The effectiveness that Ripple boasts is precisely the reason why a considerable number of organizations have begun working together with it in recent times. This is something that we have observed very recently. Contrary to what one might expect, the process of moving to institutional acceptance has not yet realized its full potential. To better demonstrate this concept through the use of an example, let's have a look at an example. Therefore, if the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo needed to transport yen worth $100 million to its headquarters in New York and then convert it into dollars, you would require an equivalent amount in both currencies at both locations, which would effectively tie up $200 million. This would be the case if the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo had to pay for the conversion. This would be the circumstance that would take place in the event that the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo was compelled to transfer the yen to its headquarters in New York. In the event that, on the other hand, this transaction were to be connected to a token or cryptocurrency such as XRP, the consequences would be rather severe. Another intriguing occurrence that need to be taken into consideration is the possibility that Ripple will go public in the near future. The Securities and Exchange Commission has not authorized this option as of yet. Nevertheless, it is actively being studied. The victory that Ripple earned in the lawsuit, in which Judge Torres concluded that the cryptocurrency does not fit the requirements for being classed as a security, is among the most significant milestones that have also been done. On a personal level, I have been an investor in XRP for a considerable period of time. However, while we do not get into a great deal of material on this topic on the channel, I do have some personal experience with it. The relationship that I've had with XRP has been a challenging one for me to maintain. During the most recent bull market, it was feasible for me to get higher gains with other assets. Nevertheless, the performance of XRP was significantly hindered by the lawsuit that was taking place at the time. Additionally, the community that surrounds XRP occasionally displays a really intense passion that even borders on being cult-like, which is something that I find to be incredibly intriguing. This is something that I believe to be a really interesting phenomenon. XRP was not an exception to this norm. There have been times when I have had an excessive amount of optimism over a project, and XRP was not an exception to this rule. As a result of the fact that some of my followers may have made investments as a result of my excitement, it is likely that they have suffered losses as a consequence of their actions. A piece of this caution is a consequence of the issue that was brought up earlier in the conversation. On the other hand, recent technical analysis indicates that XRP may be on the verge of seeing a surge that is akin to the one it had in 2017. There is no difference between the configuration that is now in place and the one that was in place prior to the surge that occurred in 2017.